Hello everyone, my name is Karynn, your friendly friend. I want to give you a little piece of information that I received from the other side. And it goes like, this is from God, a note sent to me through angels. And they said, "Beloved ones, Karynn is the receiver of my intentions, and Karynn wants us to choose love. According to God and Karynn, love is life. Love is life." Just thought I'd share that with you. You know, I've been talking about all kind of... I'm going to back up 1 minute. Let's talk about the dog and animals inside stores. You know my concerns about dogs being and cats being inside stores. You know, if you have stores, the dogs are going to bark and dogs are going to be a little vicious at times. But actually the dogs that I watched inside stores were very calm. I don't expect too many fights between two dogs and getting vicious. You know, just keep your dog to yourself, and you know, if you want a person to pet the dog, it's up to you. But the dogs do give a calming effect for all of us. So I leave that up to the store owners and the department stores to choose whether they want to have dogs inside their store. I too liked it with dogs and animals inside the store. If you don't mind picking up the mess and the urine and the fecal matter, then it's okay with me. Thank you. You know, I talk about all activities that are taking place in today's world. I watched President Biden's press release today. The press was asking him questions. He did a great job. He explained to them everything is going to be okay, where we are with COVID-19 and the situation at the border. Okay, I agree. It isn't a crisis. It's just a situation that we have to address. And keep that in mind. This situation at the border is not going to be corrected before a very long time. And I do want the Mexicans to build apartments like the dorm and find a place for them to stay. Have them already in the area while they're waiting for immunity to go into our country. Let them plant food. Let them have pigs and cattle right there near the border, and let them work on the plantation so that they're feeding themselves. That is the reward. And then providing food for all communities in that area and maybe even throughout the country. Let them do the difficult, the challenging work that white people and elderly people can no longer do. Let them do the physical work and let us lead our country. So about myself is this. Again, my name is Karynn Weinstein. My mission is to help everyone live healthier and a happier life. To help everyone get the most out of their life for themselves and for all of us in the United States. So I went to grammar school in Connecticut, and after high school, in high school I was a diver off a 1 meter diving board, and I was in the band, and we traveled to California to play in the Rose Parade in Pasadena, California on January 1st. It was about 20, well, we're going back a ways, 1970s. And we traveled everywhere. And that's the way I got my message out to all people. And you know what else? My father. I would talk to my father about all my information and knowledge, and my father shared it with leaders of all countries. He was right there. He was selling, he was a mechanic, and he was there when they were selling helicopters to all these people in other countries. And was able to converse with the leaders, and he said all the words that I told him, and he shared it with leaders of many countries. That's how my message got out there, through my father. So I was also a basketball player. I was the captain of basketball players, and I was on the swim team doing diving, and I did the band. And we traveled all along the East Coast performing in parades. I went to Southern Connecticut State University, and I received a bachelor's degree in physical education. I went to the same place later on, years later, and received my master's degree in exercise science. I was a certified personal trainer with the National Academy of Sports Medicine. And I worked as a personal trainer for Darien YMCA for many years. Oh, in the 80s, 1982 to 1990, I was a paramedic, and I loved that job. It became very strenuous. My health was okay, but doing all that lifting, and at the size of 5'2", wasn't really a good idea to work on an ambulance anymore. My back hurt, my neck hurt. The places I worked at age 16, I was a lifeguard at a local pool. And that's when I was working with the Red Cross. I was taking classes on how to do CPR. That's when it took off. And they were coming up new ways to work up a cardiac arrest. We did pull a person out of the water who was unconscious in the water. We got him back. And everyone was thrilled at what I did. I just took over the situation as a lifeguard, and we did CPR, and I put him on his side, make sure anything in his mouth was expelled, and he lived. He had no brain damage, no heart damage. I was a physical education teacher and substitute. I was a paramedic for Camping Ambulance Company. I was a physical therapy assistant for 7 years. I did corporate fitness instructor. I was a personal trainer, exercise fitness instructor for the YMCA. And I did have my own business in fitness, and I called it A Divine Universe for All. That's the name of my charity, which I have all set and ready to go. All you have to do is look up divineuniverseforall.com, and you could send any donations to that location. There's a link. And I want to say this. I saved a man's life at the Darien YMCA. He dropped while I was on the treadmill. He just passed out. No breathing, no heart condition. And the director, I asked her to get an AED, and they were just first out being used by people. And this man, Karynn Biography, she ordered the AED, and when this man collapsed in cardiac arrest, I was able to use the AED, automatic external defibrillator, As soon as I defibrillated him, he went into more at a state where he's breathing and functioning, and I'm sure by the time they get him to the hospital, he revived. As a matter of fact, we did a video on him, his story, and my story, how I saved his life. And no brain damage, no heart damage. Soon after that, I left the Darien YMCA. I was self-employed with the Heart of Aerobics and Conditioning. That was the name of my business. I did also yoga and chair classes performed at nursing homes. At about 4 nursing homes I would do an exercise class at long-term healthcare facilities. Again, I couldn't carry the equipment into the people's home or into the nursing homes. And I just, one day I said, I just can't do this anymore. I'm an author to Get in Shape Today, a personal trainer's exercise program. I was executive producer of my very own DVD called Kids Exercise with Arfie. It received the Award of Excellence from the Film Advisory Board. The two moms and children participated and exercised together, and we had a character named Kids Exercise with Arfie. The upright standing dog was Arfie, and my husband Dave Weinstein was Arfie for 2 days. And it was a hot costume underneath bright lights. So he suffered a lot, he sweat a lot, but he did what he had to do. There was no saying no to this DVD. I'm a producer of my own television shows through direction of the public access program provided by Comcast Network in Seymour, Connecticut. And again, a divine universe for all. I spent 5 years producing shows every Friday for 5 years, and I have been put 30 to 35 shows on YouTube, about 30 shows about YouTube, and I did shows even to this day. Right now I'm doing a show. So I have produced close to 300 shows in the last 6 years. That's a lot of shows. I had a lot to say. My message was put on YouTube, and my message was experienced on Channel 10 for 6 years. Many shows. I love doing shows. I want to say my husband did the telemark, the prompter, and Dave was scrolling down, and he'd watch me, and yes, he did fall asleep during our show. But what else? I fell asleep during the show with rest and relaxation. That's a secret. I don't want to share with everybody, but that's a secret. I was an ambassador for the Clinton Foundation. I communicated with President Bill Clinton for many years, and his foundation did as I asked, and he saved many lives. He prevented many epidemics occurring in Africa, and so that they wouldn't come bring it here into our country. His work bringing a city, a little village, and made it into a city. And he did all this work, and these people were destitute. The people in the hospital stayed behind, and the emergency medical service, paramedics and EMTs stayed back to give a medical care. And that's when I watched the show, and that's when I saw that there's a terrible life they were living, and they needed our help. Bill Clinton transformed that village into a city, because 20 years later, I mentioned to Bill how well he did down at the southern border of Africa, and he said, Karynn, yes, that was Hillary speaking at people, which is now a city. Education came in, better clothes, he put in sewage, he gave them fresh water, and that, what he did, is the, what do you call, the, set the stage for all other civilization. He is the guide, he is the transcript, he's right there, created and changed that city, and now it's a template. It's used for all other places, not only in America, not only in South Africa, but also in the universe. It's a template. They're going to use that, his ways of transitioning a village into a city will be used when helping people to have a better life. And this process was witnessed by the universe and used for all other universes, all other planets. If there's life out there, they will use this way of change for other civilizations in the universe. Congratulations, President Clinton. Thank you. I tip my hat to you. I gave ideas and thoughts to Clinton Foundation. I gave ideas, I sent emails out to President Obama and President Biden with some ideas of making our way of life better, which included helping other countries. I was okay. So David, my husband, is the director and cameraman for all of our television shows. Like I said, he fell asleep at times, and I fell asleep too. How could you fall asleep in front of a camera? That is a question I'd like to have answered. Now I have YouTube to get my message. Please review what we do. And there were much interaction with Bill Clinton, and he did a phenomenal job, and I was an ambassador to Clinton Foundation. And Dave and I, we went to Bill Clinton's 65th birthday gala held in Hollywood, California. That was the first time I met Bill. There were about 2,000 people in attendance. It was a weekend event. David took me to many of Clinton Foundation events. The events were in New York City, and some were in Washington, D.C., and also in Long Island Sound. Long Island. And one day, President Bill Clinton gave me a hug. That was a very nice encounter event. That meant a lot to me. And for those who were at one of his New York City events, I was standing in line where I shouldn't be standing. They were getting mad because I didn't wear the best clothing, the attire, and they paid the foundation a lot of money, and they didn't want me to go in and do that. I will have to say this to you people. I saved lives through Clinton Foundation. I saved this planet throughout my life. Yes, and I did have an effect on the universe. We were communicating for almost 20 years. Hats off to President Clinton. Thank you for all that you do. I had many positive interactions with Miss Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and she's a phenomenal lady. She did a lot of good nationally and internationally. I plan to continue to maintain contact with Bill and Hillary Clinton. So that's my history of my life. I think that's all I'll say. I was very busy all my life, helping people wherever I go, talking to people. I talked to dignitaries and helped them. And when President Clinton Foundation, Bill Clinton, I hope they continue to invite me to their events. And all his events. I was just talking to my husband. I had to wake him up. Well, that's all I have to say today. Now you know all the things that I've done. And there's more things that I've done. And I had an influence in our country to help save this planet, save our country. And I loved working through the Clinton Foundation. And I went out on one of the events when we had Hurricane Sally. And I helped at the Foundation's event to help people who suffered from Hurricane Sandy. So, I'd like to end it like this. Be good. Do good. Stay good. Stay safe, everybody. And let's let our dogs back into the department stores and not really grocery stores, that's up to the owners. And if you're willing to pick up fecal matter and urine and keep it clean, then let's do it that way. I found in the long run, I did find comfort with dogs being in stores. They brought a little smile to children and even to adults. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe and be happy.